Hey everybody, this is Healthcare Sucks Plus coming at you with a Troy report. You know, the more I watch I'm going to dub it Muller report. Don't have to agree with me, but right off the bat I'm going to tell you my 2 cents worth. This guy made a jackass out of himself, a jackass out of everybody else, and a jackass of his team. That's like a triple bypass jackass. Can you believe that? For any kids in the room, hopefully jackass isn't too bad of a word. We try to not use too many profanities, and I think nowadays jackass is probably minimum. You know, it's the end of a Muller. Anyway, I'm gonna show you some evidence I believe is true. After $25 million wasted, we need to be looking into who all was behind the curtain. Yeah, this guy was out in the front, but I'll tell you what, I've done work with the government for years, and I was on several committees, and when they start to mess up or take monies and inappropriately spend monies, they look for fall guys. I want to tell you, there might have been a day when this guy was the Sean Connery movie. I think you know which one without me referencing, where he was the marshal, FBI guy, went after the booze. If that don't catch your drift, I'll tell you what it is by the end of the video if I get time. But excuse me, good food tonight. So this guy, again, maybe at one time when he was in his prime, he was a hacksaw, a hardcore FBI guy. Maybe he was honest even then. Maybe he had honor then. Not no more. This is a feeble, broken down, senile old man. This guy, the Democrats made a big mistake pushing him out like this. That was senior abuse. I'm telling you, to put him out like this guy could not handle it. And as we watch things, I want you to pay close attention. And see, I got it too. It's coming, but not like him. Thank God. This guy just doesn't have it anymore. So whoever wrote this report and whoever did this investigation and spent all these millions of dollars, I guarantee you, if we could get to the bottom line where this money went, where it was funneled to, a lot of people made money off of this. And not for an improper, it was an improper investigation, which means it was not done correctly at all. And it had an agenda. We know this. But there's no way this guy, his whole team and everybody, there must have been some people from some higher group, organization, you could pick out whichever one you wanted to nail this to, was running this and putting this together, because this man by no means had the mental facilities to do this. There's no way. And I don't believe he did when he even started it. I think this man should have been retired years ago, and he was just trudging on to make his end of retirement money. With that being said, he immediately should be canned for everything he's done. Of course he won't, because it would draw too much attention. But this man is an utter failure and a fool. So with that being said, I'm going to comment off and on, but I want you to watch a couple things. Here we go.
And some of the key individuals in it. To be clear, the report that his name is on. Someone wrote the Mueller report. He clearly didn't. Who did? Fox Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge joins us tonight. Catherine?
Well, Tucker, at times, Robert Mueller seemed toned out to the politics of his own investigation and the fact that so many members of his team openly supported Hillary Clinton and donated to Democrats. Today, Republicans singled out Andrew Weissman, Mueller's so-called pit bull prosecutor, who went to...
This guy, Weissman, this guy's dangerous. Mark my word. That is not the innocent little looking lad that they would have you be. I see horns, evil. Yeah, he is an evil player, believe me. I'm going to be investigating this guy a little bit more.
Hillary Clinton's election night party in New York, anticipating her victory. And Weissman praised senior Justice Department official Sally Yates, who openly defied President Trump's travel ban in early 2017. Weissman, who we believe wrote the report, sent an email of congratulations after Yates refused to defend the president's order.
I can't imagine a single prosecutor or judge that I have ever appeared in front of would be comfortable with these circumstances where over half of the prosecutorial team had a direct relationship to the opponent of the person being investigated.
Let me one other fact that I put on the table, and that is we hired 19 lawyers over the period of time. Of those 19 lawyers, 14 of them were transferred from elsewhere to the Department of Justice. Only 5 came from outside.
Mueller's mandate as special counsel was to investigate Russian election interference, but Mueller testified it did not extend to the opposition research paid for by Democrats and used to secure a surveillance warrant for Trump campaign aid.
Director Mueller, can you state with confidence that the Steele dossier was not part of Russia's disinformation campaign?
No, as I said in my opening statement, that...
Listen to him stuttering and fumbling, and watch his body language, watch his eyes, watch how he touches his ear at a certain point, watch his shoulders, but watch the body language. This man knows that he's incapable and incompetent, and yet he did this today because he was pushed to do it, and deep down, I hate to say it, but you got to be part of the evil that's going on and the wrong things that were brought up and the lies, or you wouldn't have gone along with it. And I don't think he had a choice. I think they were hammering this guy.
Part of the building of the case predated me, and by at least 10 months.
My intelligence contacts report that it's standard for the Russians or any foreign intelligence service to collect information about both campaigns. So investigating the source of the dossier was really counterintelligence 101 and therefore a major gap in the Mueller report, Tucker.
That's for certain. A fascinating gap, you might say. Catherine Harris, the great
Right.
Catherine Harris. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good to see you. Well, the Mueller report was supposed to be the product of 2 years of dedicated investigation. It cost at least $25 million. That's enough to buy a European palace or a 3-bedroom condo in San Francisco. But despite all of that money, your money, hundreds of times in the report, Mueller's team simply cited major press outlets rather than original findings.
I think you relied a lot on media. I'd like to know how many times you cited the...
Watch this closely, guys. And I'm going to show you some more of his fumbling after this.
Washington Post in your report.
I don't have knowledge of that figure.
I counted about 60 times. How many times did you cite the New York Times? I counted...
Again, I have no idea.
I counted about 75 times. How many times did you cite Fox News?
As with the other two, I have no idea.
About 25 times. I've got to say, it looks like Volume 2 is mostly regurgitated press stories. Honestly, there's almost nothing in Volume 2 that I couldn't
Right
already
there.
hear or
Did you see him
know
touch his
simply
head?
by having a $50 cable news subscription.
When you scratch your head like that, that shows that he was wrong. He knows he was caught. He knows he's feeble. He's broke down. And it's kind of sad. Again, this is a man, you know, at some point, he was probably a mean old bastard. I'm going to put it straight out. You know, maybe good, maybe bad. I don't know about his history. All we can go by is today and what he's done for the last few years, which, even if you're looking at the end of the rainbow for a check, it's just wrong.
However, your investigation cost the American taxpayers $25 million.
Kim Strassel is on the Wall Street Journal editorial board. She has been on this story really from the first day and has been one of the most incisive critics, I would say, and analysts of everything that's happened during the Russia investigation. Kim, thanks a lot for coming on. Well, take 3 steps back and assess what you saw today from Robert Mueller.
Well, what I saw from Robert Mueller was not what Democrats wanted. Let's step back and remember, why did they want this to happen? They wanted the sound bites and they wanted to relaunch the impeachment conspiracy theory, going ahead and having hearings on that. And
Here's Jim.
Director, the FBI interviewed Joseph Mifsud on February 10th, 2017. In that interview, Mr. Mifsud lied. You point this out on page 193, volume 1. Mifsud denied. Mifsud also falsely stated. In addition, Mifsud omitted. 3 times he lied to the FBI, yet you didn't charge him with the crime.
Excuse me, did you say one? I'm sorry, did you say 193?
Volume 1, 193. He lied 3 times. You pointed out in the report. Why didn't you charge him with the crime?
I can't get into internal deliberations with regard who would or would not be.
Charge a lot of other people for making false statements. Let's remember this. In 2016, the FBI did something they probably haven't done before. They spied on 2 American citizens associated with a presidential campaign, George Papadopoulos and Carter Page. With Carter Page, they went to the FISA court. They used the now famous dossier as part of the reason they were able to get the warrant and spy on Carter Page for a better part of a year. With Mr. Papadopoulos, they didn't go to the court. They used human sources. All kinds of, from about the moment Papadopoulos joins the Trump campaign, you got all these people all around the world starting to swirl around him. Names like Halper, Downer, Mifsud, Thompson, meeting in Rome, London, all kinds of places. The FBI even sent a lady posing as somebody else, went by the name Azra Turk, even dispatched her to London to spy on Mr. Papadopoulos. In one of these meetings, Mr. Papadopoulos is talking to a foreign diplomat, and he tells the diplomat, Russians have dirt on Clinton. That diplomat then contacts the FBI.
Did you see him touch his neck? Scratch his neck? Yeah. Nervous. Guilty.
And the FBI opens an investigation based on that fact. You point this out on page 1 of the report. July 31st, 2016, they open the investigation based on that piece of information. Diplomat tells Papadopoulos, Papadopoulos tells a diplomat, Russians have dirt on Clinton. Diplomat tells the FBI. What I'm wondering is, who told Papadopoulos? How'd he find out?
I can't get into the evidentiary fight.
Yes, you can, because you wrote about it. You gave us the answer. Page 192 of the report, you tell...
He didn't even know what's in the report, guys. Come on. I mean, I have to jump in front of the camera. Really? I mean, come on. This is the guy that did the report, signed his name on everything, and yet he can't even... This is how the whole thing went. Even when they told him what page it was on, no recollection at all. The new Attorney General, Barr, whatever his name is, that man, from his brain, can cite stuff. I've watched him do it. This guy, he's like gone. Total gone. He, Alzheimer's 101, guys. Very bad. Sad. This should have been done a long time ago. This is the biggest farce, other than the opiate farce, I have ever seen.
Tell us who told him. Joseph Mifsud. Joseph Mifsud's the guy who told Papadopoulos. The mysterious professor who lives in Rome and London, works at teaching in 2 different universities. This is the guy who told Papadopoulos. He's the guy who starts it all. And when the FBI interviews him, he lies 3 times, and yet you don't charge him with a crime. You charge Rick Gates for false statements. You charge Paul Manafort for false statements. You charge Michael Cohen with false statements. You charge Michael Flynn, a 3-star general, with false statements. But the guy who puts the country through this whole saga, starts it all for 3 years we've lived this now, he lies, and you guys don't charge him. I'm curious as to why.
Well, I can't get into it, and it's obvious, I think, that we can't get into charging decisions.
When the FBI interviewed him in February, FBI interviews him in February, when the special counsel's office interviewed Mifsud, did he lie to you guys too?
Can't get into that.
Did you interview Mifsud?
Can't get into that.
Is Mifsud Western intelligence or
Can't get
Russian
into that.
intelligence?
Can't get into that.
Talk about hitting the nail on the head. He is intelligence, guys. Come on. And this guy can't get into. Does that sound familiar of Peter and the other ones that testified? Mr. Smiley Face? Yeah. Looks like he did a load in his pants. Remember that guy? And then he squirmed in it and he thought he was all happy and joy about it? That guy. This is like... We learned a lot from this. We learned how wrong this was. And we learned straight out, guys, you can never trust the FBI or letter agencies again. They cannot be trusted. I always look back to Comey and his Martha Stewart thing. How, she took the fall. She didn't do anything that they all don't do. She was a fall gal also. She's the one that took the hit for that. And, you need to remember, these people are evil. They're wrong. When you can manipulate a system and charge people with crimes they're innocent of and threaten their families like